Hello YouTube, I'm your Huckleberry, and this is the Gil-Tek RUK version 2 in aluminum. RUK standing for Rapid Utility Knife. And I need to thank my friend Diego and the guys over at DK Custom Coatings and the good people at Gil-Tek for sending this in to me for review. DK Custom Coatings is the company that put the coating on this, the Cerakote. This is their in-house multi-cam green with a nice gloss ceramic finish over it, so that'll last for a long time there and hold up very well for you. So thank you, Diego and DK Custom Coatings, for sending this in for review. And speaking of reviews, let's get into it. And so we're going to be looking at a 3-inch overall length with a 1.12 inch measurement in the width there for the width. Let's go ahead and get out the AccuWeight scale and see what this guy weighs. Come on, there we go. And we are looking at 0.7 of an ounce. So very, very lightweight. You're not gonna feel this guy at all in your pocket. Let's do some size comparisons. And here it is against another knife that I had DK Custom Coatings do for me, the Spyderco PM2. This one was done, and you can kind of see the difference here just between the coatings if you're interested. This is the gloss finish, and this is the matte finish. Let me bring it up closer to see if maybe you can see the difference there. The orange is much more matte than the gloss of the RUK. But there's you a size comparison there, so you can see it's tiny. It pretty much fits inside the handle there of the PM2 or the blade. This is about as long as the PM2 blade, with the blade being a little bit longer. And here it is against a Kershaw Leak. Again, for size comparison. And so again, this is just a little multi-tool here. This is about the blade length of a Leak. A multi-tool utility tool. It's got multiple tools on it. Speaking of those multiple tools, let's talk about them. Okay, so with this guy here, you're going to get a pry bar / flathead screwdriver. There, you got your lanyard hole there. You have a wire cutter or string cutter, you know, just whatever you can get in there. As you can see, you can see the gold part of the Linux blade there exposed, but you definitely can't get your finger down in there to cut. It's buried enough that you're never going to cut yourself right there, which is good. You have a bottle opener right here. And on the back, you have a hex bit driver holder there that can hold a hex bit driver. And so a useful tool. The best thing about this is that with a lot of these kind of little tools like this, a lot of these little RUKs, rapid utility knives, the thing that they're usually two-handed. This one was designed to be one-handed. So you could open and close that with one hand, which is great because, you know, that's what we want in our knives too, right? Is one-handed and one-handed closing, opening and closing. We want to be able to operate that with one hand. That's why we go with these kind of knives instead of, you know, there are the traditional knives that you have to have two hands, slip joints and things like that. But with a lot of the utility knives, they're two-handed opening, but this is designed to be one-hand opening. And it's held in with this little tension bar here that keeps it, you know, pushed in place, and you can kind of see the design there. With that cutout, keeps everything in place. It's not going to go anywhere. I can, you know, pull and pull and pull, and it's not going anywhere. I can push in. It's not going to go anywhere. I can pull out. It's not going to go anywhere. Excuse me. But that's fantastic. You know, one-handed opening on a little tool like this, little lightweight tool for a utility knife is awesome. It is easy to change the blades. So in order to change the blades, you push it out like that. You put pressure on it this way, and you put pressure on that back spring, or you kind of put, there you go. So you put pressure on it this way up front. Let me try to do that again. That didn't explain that very well. Okay, and then to get it back in, you just line it up. You get it past that guy there. And it's easy to change the blade. But what I was doing there is that I was putting pressure on it this way. So bringing it out to get it to right there, you see, where it's kind of out of that little notch. So you bring it out to over there, and then you just put pressure back that way. And it comes right out. Well, I'm making it look much harder than it is. It's not that hard. It's quite easy once you get it down. But it's easy to change blades there, just like that. And to put it in, you just line it up, and right there. And you're back in. So there you go. And it's much easier to do off camera. But as you saw right there, even with me struggling a little bit, it's not hard. You also get this nice jimping on the top there. Which is great for a little utility knife. You can choke up there, you got the nice jimping, and you can get your utility tasks done. You know, and I really advocate for carrying, you know, a little utility knife like this, because of course, you know, most of you watching this channel, the reason you're watching this channel is because you like knives such as this. Kind of, you know, your Spydercos, your Kershaws, your Leeks. You like your pocket knives like this, you know, that's one hand opening and closing and everything. And, you know, you might ask, why do I need a knife like this, a utility knife, when I have this? And that's a good question. For me personally, I could just tell you, for me personally, you know, when I'm carrying a knife such as this, a PM2 or a Leek, or you know, one of, you know, I have my Chris Benza. I have those. And those are fine for doing any of your tasks that this can do. But where I like to use this is, you know, opening boxes. You know, that's kind of what this is a nice little box cutter, you know, package opening. Because that, of course, saves from getting sticky junk on my blade. You know, which is not that big of a deal. You can, you know, of course, clean it off. But you know, when I can carry this, because this is perfect for carry in like the fifth pocket or coin pocket of your jeans, you just drop it right down in there. And then when I have a package or need to cut up a little bit of cardboard or something, I can save the edge of my pocket knife, which is much harder to sharpen than just switching out a blade on a ruck. You know, cardboard, of course, we know will wear down an edge pretty quickly because of all the impurities in the cardboard. So if you're cutting, you know, quite a bit of cardboard or opening quite a few packages, it might just be better to save the edge of this, which is, again, going to be much harder to sharpen, and just pull out one of these guys, you know, and get that open or get that cardboard broken down. And, you know, because when this edge wears out, one, you can just flip this guy around and then use the other side of the edge there. And then when that gets dull, you just toss it and put in a new one. And so, and with like these Linux Gold here, they of course will last, you know, much longer than even your regular utility blade with that coating there on the edge. And so that's kind of where this, you know, not to mention that you got a bottle opener and a pry bar and a screwdriver and a little string cutter and or wire cutter or whatever. I mean, it's got multiple uses there. And so it's just, it makes it, for certain utility tasks, for me at least, it's easier just to kind of pull this guy out, get it done really quickly with that, you know, really sharp razor edge that I don't care if it wears down or not, because I'll just, you know, turn it around or just throw it away and put a new one in. It's just easier to get it done with this guy than it is, you know, pulling out the Leek and getting that edge all dull, and then I got to sharpen it up. Which again, you know, it's not a huge deal, But it is nice to save the edges of my knives for other cutting tasks, for, you know, food prep or maybe a little bit heavier dutier tasks than what this guy's going to be for. You know, like I said, I work at a flooring store, so, you know, I really this wouldn't be great for cutting carpet. This would be better for, you know, cutting the carpet samples that I have to cut sometimes, or cutting a little piece off a carpet, or scoring a piece of vinyl or something like that. You know, this is going to work great. But for just, you know, kind of your quick cardboard cutting, package opening task, this is great. Utility knives come are going to come in handy in a, you know, variety of situations. I think when you carry one, you'll find out that you use this quite a bit. And so that's great. The kind of the only complaint I have about the Ruk is that I wish it had, you know, this has great jimping on top, and I wish it had some right here in that little area there for your finger. Because while this is not going to go anywhere, this is going to lock in great the thumb up top. I wish it had some of this great jimping there underneath so that I could lock in my bottom, my pointer finger here on the bottom for just a little added security. But other than that, that's really the only complaint I have about this guy. I mean, otherwise, it's just going to get the job done over and over and over and over again. It's just a great, great product. And speaking of, it's cheap enough too, because it's, you know, you're talking about $30 for the aluminum version. You know, $30 to $35 for the aluminum version. It also comes in titanium, which is of course more, but if you want titanium, they have that option too. But I mean, $30 for a nice little utility knife, one-handed utility knife multi-tool that weighs, you know, less than an ounce is great. And there's so many uses for that. I mean, it's so easy to carry. Like I said, just drop it in the coin pocket, the fifth pocket of your jeans, and forget about it until you need it. You know, just carry it around in there. Put a little lanyard on there, and you can fish it out real quick. And it's just so good for a variety of uses where you just might not want to use, you know, your pocket, especially if you're carrying, you know, like I said, a Sabenza or a Hinderer, or, you know, one of these, you know, multi-hundred dollar blades, you know, whereas this can just kind of get the quick and dirty tasks done for you. And so that's going to do it for this review, guys. I highly recommend the Ruk. It's a great utility knife. I like it. I've tried several different utility knives because I do like carrying a utility blade on me. And I've tried several different little pocket utility knives or tools, whatever you want to call them. And this one is by far and away my favorite because, one, of the one-handed opening, and you got the other tools, and it's just so lightweight and compact and easy to carry. And so I highly recommend the Gil-Tek RUK version 2. Okay, and so that's going to do it for this review, guys. If you enjoyed this review, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you hated this review, feel free to give me a thumbs down. That's okay. But whether you give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, let me know in the comments why, what you like, what you disliked. Do you own a Gil-Tek RUK? How do you like it? Or do you own a different utility type knife? How do you enjoy it? What do you use yours for? Let me know all that down in the comments, and whatever you do, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that little notification bell, which will let you know whenever I put out a new video, because I do have a lot of new content that will be coming out here soon. I try to keep a constant flow, pretty consistent flow of content coming out, so I'm sure I will come across something that you like. And that's going to do it for this one, and I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Goodbye.